Hi guys, welcome back to 52 Men of the Bible, week number 36. And this week we are looking at one of the gospel writers, Matthew. Matthew started his life off in the Bible as a tax collector. Some of you who know my story know that I started off as a council tax recovery officer. So I'm not going to allow any naff titles of Matthew like scumbag taxman or anything like that. Some of the best of us have started out in this world. No, only joking. But we are going to look at Matthew and we're going to see what we can learn from this guy. So grab your Bibles, read Mark chapter 2 and verses 13 to 17, and then we'll come back and we'll have a little look at this guy and what he can teach us. Okay, so we are going to talk about this guy called Matthew, we're going to start by talking about Levi. Levi was the man he used to be before he became Matthew, and Levi was the tax collector. Now, I know I joke about the fact that I used to be a council tax recovery officer, but there was one difference between what I was and what Levi would have been. Levi would have been an extortioner. He would have taken his own cut over and above what was due in terms of the tax, and he would have feathered his own nest. He would have accepted that people had to live in poverty and misery in order for him to have the opulent life that he wanted. I mean, this is why people like Levi were absolutely hated. I mean, they were literally completely and utterly rejected by mainstream society. But he did get rich from it. So here's the thing. Jesus comes along one day and he doesn't say to him, right, okay, Levi, let's have a little conversation. Let's have a chat, shall we, about your life choices. He doesn't do that. I mean, he knows who Levi is, and he says one thing. He says, follow me. I mean, it's like literally drop everything. Leave your wealth behind. Leave everything that you hold dear. Come, follow me. I will give you life, and in return, you will live for me. And it's like that moment when God calls us. It's that moment when we have to make a choice. Are we going to chase after the things that really matter to us? Are we going to make choices that are going to make us comfortable and happy? Or are we going to realize that ultimately they won't make us happy, and happiness and purpose can only really be found in Jesus Christ? I remember when I was a lot younger, I went to my church leader and I said to him that I felt like God was calling me into Christian ministry, for want of a better phrase. He posed a question to me and said, what are you going to do if your current employer comes and offers you a massive salary increase and promotion? Are you still going to feel passionate about going and serving Jesus? And that actually made me step back. I'm not overly happy to say that it made me stop for a while, and I had to think that one through. And it was probably about 2 or 3 years later before I felt that sense of calling coming on me again. I look back on it and I think, well, maybe my heart wasn't right or ready for the responsibility of what God was calling me into at that point, or just maybe my values were wrong at that time. I waited to see if I would get the promotion, and I did get a promotion, but ultimately it wasn't enough because God had a plan and a purpose on my life which he would not let go of. And I think that that's one of the things I want to just encourage you with right now. Levi heard the call, follow me. And he did. He dropped everything and went and followed Jesus. He even changed his name, in a sense, to become a new person. He became a man who was so kingdom focused that he did everything to share the gospel with as many people as he possibly could. And history tells us that he went as far as Ethiopia. And he became a missionary, an evangelist, if you like, to the people of Ethiopia. And he even was martyred in the end. He had a two-pronged spear just run through him. This guy had gone from being somebody whose attitude was, I'll take what I can from you because I want comfort, I want opulence, I want the grand life, the yacht, the big mansion, I want it all. And he became a man who would give his life so that others might meet Jesus and have life themselves. What an interesting character Matthew is. And what does he teach us? Well, I think what he teaches us is that no matter what we are like today, if we hear the voice of God and if we respond to it, then we can live a life of massive purpose, and we can be the kind of men who transform society, transform the lives of our loved ones and those we hold dear around us, our communities. We can share the gospel as a message of hope, even if that's not who we are today. We just have to hear the voice of God calling us, follow me. And we need to respond to that, and everything can be turned around. Now, the enemy will tell you a lie today, as he once told me, that because I had made a choice when that church leader said to me, look, if you're offered a promotion with lots more money, would you still be so keen on serving God? And I chose to wait to see whether the promotion and the money would come. And the enemy says, well, that's it. You made your choice. There's nothing different now. You had your chance, you took it, you blew it. That's a lie from the enemy. Even if we have chosen to not be all that God has called us to be in the past, do not think for 1 minute that is game over. If you still got a pulse, and if breath is still coming out of your mouth, and if you've still got the ability to choose, you can choose to follow God today. No matter what's gone, the past is the past. Leave it in the past. Be Matthew. Choose to follow Jesus, giving up everything. And if it costs you your life, so be it. Because ultimately, there comes a moment when we're all going to stand before Jesus in all of his glory. And if we've chosen wealth, manipulation, and all sorts of stuff like that, comfort, the high life, if we've chosen wealth over Jesus, then that's going to be a really awkward, embarrassing, dare I say it, terrifying conversation. But it doesn't have to be that way. Let's respond today. Dyma fi, anfon fi. Here am I, send me. It's never too late to say that to God. I pray that each of us will say that and continue to say that on a daily basis. Have a great week, guys, and I look forward to speaking to you again next week.